Hey guys, Andy here. So probably the most anticipated phone for me of recent time would be the Pixel 2, or maybe more precisely the Pixel 2 XL. But running up a reasonably close second is this fella, which is the Xiaomi Mi A1. Is this on the side there? Now, I've had Xiaomi phones before. They're generally, the build quality is very good. If you've not heard of Xiaomi, you probably have if you're watching the video, but if you've not heard of Xiaomi, they're the third or the fourth, maybe the fourth now, biggest phone manufacturer in the world. But they generally operate in China and in the East. So we don't hear about them much. You can import them from various different websites. So this one I got from Banggood. Banggood. You can get them right now. I've just was double checking the price. The gold version, £175. What colour is that? Black, grey, black? Doesn't tell me. One of the darker ones, 186.89 or 190.78. Why can't I see what colour? Black. Oh, the more expensive ones with the EU charger. Sorry, so the UK charger, 186.89. The first thing I knew about it was got a note through the door from the postman this morning saying I've got to go and pay some import fees. It's only £11 something. It's not too bad. I got more than that off on a discount code I had for Banggood, and I think you get Quidco as well if you're on there. So I've actually only paid, including import tax, I'm probably in the region of 168, something like that perhaps. So Xiaomi, I've had them before, generally really good hardware, but the software has always been, for me, has been the killer, has been the sort of the deal breaker really. They just don't, a lot of them don't even have the Play Store on them. You have to put them on yourself because they just don't have that over in China or wherever. But the beauty of this, and it is the global version, if you can see on that sticker there, it is the global version. This one is stock Android, and therefore I'm really excited. Some Xiaomi. I mean, it's not, it's a budget phone. Let's go. We'll come to the specs in a second. Let's get in and have a look at. Sitting here talking about a box. It is talked about a lot, this device. Well, there are some specs on the back. Let's have a quick look at them. Dual camera, 2x optical zoom, pure Android look, fresh OS upgrades. Snapdragon 625 and a 5.5 inch full HD display, so it's a 1080p display. Anything else interesting on the back? So this one's a black 64 gig version. I think that's the only version they do, with 4 gig of RAM and a micro SD card slot, which can use up to, it says up to 128 gig. There's a bit more information there. So I think, yeah, dual SIM, dual standby. But it is the global version, so I think it does most bands. I couldn't be sure. Just have a look on GSM Arena if it gives me anything instantly, but I can't see. Because that's the other issue with sort of the Chinese import phones. They don't always work on our sort of 4G and things like that. I'm sure people in the comments will probably look at that. That does look very nice. It does look very nice. So that's the good thing with Xiaomi. They are budget device, or this one is a budget. They do some top end stuff, but they don't feel. I mean, that feels really. That feels. So obviously, I've got all the protection on it still. I mean, actually, no, the back's only that. Just that one, is it? Which can come off nice and easy. That feels nice. The back of that phone feels really nice. Fingerprint sensor, obviously, in the back there. There's the dual cameras, and I think dual flash. Is there a tag to help me take note? We're just going to have to... Oh, it comes off reasonably easy though. Let's just double check. We'll start that booting up perhaps and leave that just on the side. I did also, from Banggood, I got a power converter, so I'm assuming as I go in to the box here, we're going to get a... Oh. Okay, so it's all in this box. You see there we've got a SIM ejection tool on the bottom. How do we get in next then? Oh, there we go, look. And USB type C, hooray. As you can see, or can you? If the light's letting you, there we go, look. I don't know if the camera's quite focused on it either. So USB type C cable, which means I'm not really bothered by, oh, that's a bit big and ugly though, to be honest, isn't it? There are some instructions there. Just gonna pop, where was that one in? That one. Nothing down the other end to see, so it's relatively bare bones box. Can't get it back together now. Let's just see if there's anything worth looking at. Thank you for choosing Mi A1. You're welcome. Android One. So this is the deal with it. Android One is kind of Google's. When you say budget, I think they originally. I don't know the history amazingly well, but it's along the lines of they wanted to sort of branch out into the. I don't know if you say developing world or other markets, I suppose. So they wanted the basic, bare bones, simple phones. A lot of them under $100, and they were their Android One devices. So Xiaomi have kind of jumped on that bandwagon. Well, have made a Android One device. I think Motorola have done one. It's like a £400 Android One phone, which to me seems a little backwards. Is that not just an Android phone with stock Android rather than Android One? I don't know, but they're saying it's Android One. Let's not worry about tucking things away just now. Let's go. So do we get English? Do we get to say? There we go. United Kingdom. That's good. That isn't. I know it seems a small thing. That isn't always there on Xiaomi devices in the first. Let's skip that for the moment. Let's set up as new for the moment. Right, I'm going to log into Wi-Fi. I have to say, first impressions of this device, very nice. Really feels. I mean, like I say, Xiaomi, they do make good hardware. So let's go ahead. Let's start. Fingerprint added. Google services. Yeah, let's have Google Assistant. Yes, I'm in. Oh, righto. Oh, no, let's do that later because I'm going to trigger off everything near me. I know some people, I mean, I'm not even that paranoid, but I'm kind of not keen on sending the Chinese any information they want. Even that screen looks very nice, I would suggest. Oh, there's an update too, I think, is there? I would assume that's just a security patch. Yeah. It's a gig though. Well, let's have a quick look at what. Oh, this is nice. A Xiaomi with stock Android, and it seems nice and slick. Security patch 1st of August, so that is a couple of months out of date. Build number and kernel version, and if that helps anybody, if they need to know. Now, right, okay, so, so capacitive touch sensitive buttons at the bottom, you could argue they're backwards, because we've got back is on the right, app switching, it does seem very fast on the left. That's kind of the Samsung way of doing things, if I remember correctly. I won't lie, I kind of prefer it that way. I do use app switch quite a lot, but the back button is easier than having to be reaching over to the other side. So it's doing various bits of update in the background. Let's have a bit of a chat if I finally get to tell you about the specification. So the weight's 165 grams, but it feels good. Let me see where we're down to. 5.5 inch screen, I've already mentioned. It's a 70.1% screen to body ratio. Whoa, that was loud as well. That scared me. So yeah, I mean, some people get upset by bezels. They're reasonably sized bezels, top and bottom. I'd say the edges are fine. I don't like it too tight, otherwise your fingers are touching when you're gripping the device. So I've mentioned the screen resolution. That's 403 pixels per inch density. Corning Gorilla Glass 3, which is interesting. That's quite old now. I don't even know how many years old, but that is quite old. OS Android 7.1.2. I think we've already seen that. Planned upgrade to Android 8.0. Android One, obviously. So the chipset, I think I mentioned already, Snapdragon 625. The CPU, octa-core 2 GHz Cortex A53. Doesn't sound too bad. The GPU, the Adreno 506. I am going to, while I'm talking, whatever, fine. Geek. Oh no, I need Dropbox first, because I install. All the tests I've been doing are on a certain version of Geekbench, and I don't want they changed for version 4, so I want to keep sticking with the same one that I've been doing. Maybe, I suppose it's just for you guys, I could install regular. No, well, we'll see. Right. Where did I get to? Adreno, yeah, so it's got a memory card slot, I've already mentioned, the internal memory and the RAM I've mentioned. So the camera, let's come home for a second, turn that off. So the camera, Let's have a look. Dual 12 megapixel, f2.2 and f2.6. That's okay. The lower the number, the better. Top end phones these days are coming up with f1.8 or f1.6. The f-stop means it's how big the lens kind of can open up, so therefore how much light it can let in. So you're going to have better low light photos with a lower f-stop. But 2.2, that's okay. Obviously we'll wait and see. The camera is often, on a budget phone, the camera is often one of the things that gets cheaped out on. What's the word? Compromised is the compromise. So that'll be interesting. That's the front facing. Not that I can see. Secondary 5 megapixel. Wow, that's even by with see the notification either. 5 megapixel is quite low. It still does 1080p video. The back camera, does 2160p video at 30 frames per second. If you drop down to 720p, you can have 120 frames per second. Okay. I think. Oh, where's the battery? We want to know what the battery is. FM radio. Colors black, gold, and rose gold. The battery is a 3080 milliamp hour non-removable Li-ion battery. I mean, that should be okay for a 5.5 inch screen. So let's see how fast the. Oh, well that's quite slow and apparently didn't work. But oopsie daisy. But is that because the first time I've used it? But maybe it shouldn't be. Let's try once more. Okay, so that worked. So it's not blazing quick, but I'm okay with that. Right, so we're back. I've got Geekbench installed. Let's just, so we can see there kind of confirmation of what I've told you. Let's start that up. So I think, as I said, initial impressions is really nice. It feels a little slippy. So although it's kind of a textured back, I guess almost you would say soft touch. It does feel a bit slippy. So you might want to skin it or put a case on it. There you go. So look at the build quality around there. That looks really good. Really good. So let's see what, I mean, so far in operation it feels nice and snappy. I've been through kind of just downloading some bits off Dropbox. I've installed Geekbench. It feels nice and snappy as far as I'm concerned. Here we go. The results: 3,000, 5,000. That's pretty good for a 170, 180 pound phone. 5,000. I'm quite impressed by that. It wasn't, I mean, you may have heard me saying, I was thinking maybe 3,000 or so, kind of slightly pessimistically, but it just feels nice and slick. This could be a really good option for people that don't want to splash out on, you know, the brand new top end devices. I mean, that screen, I would say that looks pretty good to me. The colours are nice and sharp. They pops just a little bit, not too much. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at something on YouTube. Let's go to one of my videos, perhaps. What have I done recently? Go on then, let's have a look at my old sleeping duck mattress. Obviously that's a low res at the moment. Let's see how we get. 144p. Come on, let's crank it up. There we go. There's a nice bright red Overwatch t-shirt. Not a particularly good mattress. Does the job. I don't have problems sleeping on it, but I just thought I might treat myself to it. Yes, I did do a mattress review. How exciting. Nice mattress though, check it out. Right, those that watch my videos know who's coming. Good old Ed. I know it annoys some people, but hello.
Android app development shouldn't be this frustrating. Sign up for our...
It's not. Anyway, so
somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on now, follow my lead.
I think that sounds good. I know a lot of people aren't that bothered by the speaker, but
For a couple weeks, I only wanna see her. We drink away the days with a takeaway pizza. Before a text message was the only way to reach her. Now she's staying at my place and loves the way I. Until you disappeared with him to have sex, of course. It's not like we were both on tour. We were staying at the same hotel floor, and I wasn't looking for a promise.
I'm impressed. I think the screen looks really good. I mean, I have cranked that right up to its full. Let's drop it down to a kind of a normal level. I think that's still. I mean, it's not quite as impressive, perhaps, but generally, there's not. I mean, look, there's not a lot of bloats. So there's what's that? Me remote, feedback. The other bits, so Solid Explorer I've installed myself, Dropbox I did myself, Geekbench I did myself. And what have we? Yeah, just those two apps. I mean, that's this. I'm impressed. I think this is a winner for a lot of people. Early days, camera. Let's bring in the cap. So I think possibly this is the one bit that's not. Oh, all right. Okay, yeah, it's got dual camera, isn't it? I didn't even think about. It's got portrait mode. How do we actually? Group selfies as well. Look, where's portrait mode though? Do we see it? Is that it? There we go. Okay, so let's see what we can do with the cap here. So. Can you see? You can't see what I'm doing particularly. Not that you know. I'm sure you've seen a photo being taken before. Oh, okay, it's taking it. Tapping it again. I don't think it was particularly sharp on this. That doesn't look. Let's just try once more. Right, that looks like it's a bit better in focus. Depth effect. Come on. So it doesn't look great at this point. Let's turn off. All right, see how much we're on the wide angle. The wide angle lens at this point. Obviously, now that looks okay. So that looks a pretty good picture actually. Right. So portrait mode. Initial thoughts possibly portrait mode not so great. Oh, is that where we switch? That's it. So we can switch between the two. Can you see what I'm doing? Sorry. So we can switch between the two different lenses. Fine, we've got flash. We didn't turn on HDR. Maybe we should even have done that. Oh well, I'm going to do more testing on the camera. But actually, that first picture that looks alright, I reckon. We'll see when we get outside with better subjects, I suppose, of how it responds. So there we go. Initial thoughts for. Oh, it's got a headphone jack. I never really looked around the outside of the thing. So, headphone jack, yeah, USB Type-C. I'm not sure where those two dots. That's almost like kind of magnetic guides or something. The speaker at the bottom. We've got the power. The buttons feel good. They feel nice and clicky, sort of solid. They don't waggle about. IR blaster on the top. A lot of sort of the Eastern phones have IR blasters. Small camera bumpers we've already looked at, but it looks okay. It looks like a good quality. SIM ejection in the side there. I think that's a really nice phone. Really nice phone. I'm quite looking forward to testing this over the next few days. I test budget devices from time to time, and some of them can be a bit painful to use, if I'm honest. First impressions on this, really nice, really nice. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you have any particular questions, I'll try and keep up with whatever you're asking down there, and I'll try and include it in the actual review. Let me know your thoughts generally in the comments down below. But for now, my name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon.